From the launch event of Team Bahrain McLaren, welcome to the GCN show.
Welcome to the GCN show.
This week, 9 things that cyclists can't live without. Will you agree with our list?
I very much doubt it.
Yeah, me too.
We've also got the latest superfood, break dancing, why fresh breath can improve cycling performance, and a brand new giveaway.
Plus, don't forget, we check back in with Ollie as he continues his build-up to try to beat the great Eddie Merckx.
It's gonna be a long build-up.
It is, isn't it? Yeah.
This week in the world of cycling, we learnt that Ollie and international cyclocross star Laurens Sweek have got something in common.
That's right. Here is Ollie. And here is Laurens Sweek. See? And we also learned this week that if you really love cycling, you will definitely need some of these, if you don't have them already, in fact. These being drinking straws made from titanium and sold by luxury brand Silka.
Actually, if you really love cycling, I think you need one of these. This is the champagne bottle that Bauke Mollema received when he won Il Lombardia back in October.
Nice.
Hack or bodge?
Oh, it's probably a hack, isn't it? Everyone loves light tech.
I see what you did there. Took me a couple of seconds. That drinking straw though, it looks a bit stupid in some ways, but it's actually really cool because it is made using the leftover material from Silka's titanium bottle cages.
Yeah, okay, fair play. Environmental credentials, I like that. Is it something that you couldn't live without then, Dan?
Well, I wouldn't go that far because I'm not really a drinking straw kind of guy.
No. Who drinks beer with a straw? But question is though, Dan, what couldn't you live without then?
As a cyclist?
Apart from beer?
Coffee.
Yeah, I wonder whether that's got more to do with being a human than being a cyclist.
Quite possibly, yes.
Yeah.
Right, in terms of cycling things, something that I can't live without, but I really wish I could, is competition.
Is that just because you normally lose, mate?
Exactly, that's why I wish I could live without it. But case in point, on Sunday, as I was continuing Dan's adventure, 1,000 kilometres before Christmas, I hit an open section of road in the New Forest with a gale force tailwind, and immediately went back into race mode and tried to steal myself a couple of KOMs.
Wow, Dan in race mode. That must have been something to behold.
Well,
Did
I
you
wish
smash
it was. No, unfortunately, I failed dismally on all the ones that I attempted. The point being that I'm just 2 weeks back into riding my bike and I'm already trying to compete, which is ridiculous.
No, it's not. It's just a natural thing. The trick, I think, is just to choose a small enough group of people to compete with and then you should be fine.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Now, the one thing, or not the one thing, one of the things that I can't live without as a cyclist is carbohydrates. And I'm not just talking about some weird, funky diet. I mean, literally, in my life as a cyclist, I think I've spent about half of it on the verge of or completely bonking. And so anytime I ride, my pockets are almost literally bulging with food. Otherwise, it's just not a pretty sight.
It's not a pretty sight when you do eat a lot. And you do eat a lot off the bike as well.
I do, yeah. I'm constantly fueled.
Right, what about data? Questionable one, this one, and again, one that I can't live with or without.
You mean you can't live without it, but you just don't like what it's telling you?
That is exactly what I mean.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I could live without data, but I really like it. A bit like Lycra, actually. I mean, technically I could ride my bike quite happily without Lycra, but it's really comfortable.
Wearing something else, hopefully.
Yes, no, I'm not suggesting that I go naked. I mean, I could ride naked for a short period of time. But no, Lycra is comfortable and it makes me ride faster. And I guess you could probably say the same about a lot of cycling essentials, is that you can do without them. Except for clipless pedals. Actually, I'm gonna hang on to those. I genuinely don't think I could enjoy riding my bikes as much if I didn't have clipless pedals.
I think I'd agree with you on that one. In fact, the only time you'll find me riding around on flat sides when I get the old stunt bike out and do some cool stunts around town.
Wow, must be really old, because I know for a fact you can't bunny hop without clipless pedals.
Well, you're wrong there. I can get at least an inch off the ground with a back wheel.
Oh, really?
On flat pedals,
So
yeah.
okay, fair
Right,
enough.
what about mobile phones? As a cyclist, could you live without a smartphone?
Well, I mean, I definitely could live without a phone because, I mean, I used to, quite happily, before smartphones were invented, in actual fact, and before mobile phones were commonplace. But I'm not sure I could ride without one now. It's like a safety net, isn't it?
It is, exactly. It means that you don't have to walk miles to the local telephone box if you have a mechanical problem that's so severe that no hack or bodge is going to rectify it, or heaven forbid you have a bad accident and you can't move. But there are other uses, aren't there, to smartphones? You can capture pictures of your ride, or you can just record your ride, or you can send your planned ride to your head unit from your smartphone, as I've been doing for my rides.
Yeah, hashtag Dan's Adventure, if you hadn't got the message yet. You know, I think, mate, I know you're concerned about sounding middle-aged. I think that last paragraph possibly sounded the most middle-aged you could have, extolling the virtues of smartphones to a generation of people.
I mean, I don't generally remember a time before smartphones.
You can take photos, you can let people know where you are.
You can send your ride from your smartphone to your head unit.
Oh, that's right, okay. Next one. I could not live without saddle to bar drop.
What?
Yeah, saddle to bar drop, you heard. So, I cannot get comfortable on a bike unless my handlebars are lower than my saddle. Yeah, I'm not very fussy about bike fit generally, but that's the one thing, which is quite ironic actually, that I can't get comfortable on bikes that are designed for comfort, but there it is. It's the first thing I look at if I'm choosing a size of bike, is how high the head tube is, the stack height.
I actually surprised then, but I actually go along with you on that one.
Yeah, well, I thought you would.
I can't stand having my handlebars too high at the front.
No, just take one look at your retro mountain bike. There you go.
Right, I've got another one. Lube.
What?
That is virtually impossible to live without, isn't it? Because not only is there the extra friction involved, but just that squealing noise constantly. I mean, not only does it make you go insane, but everyone that you're riding with too.
True, yeah, no, I mean, I'd not really thought about it like that, but yeah, I guess lube is an essential. We asked around GCN HQ a little bit, actually, Cannings. He said tyres, decent tyres he couldn't live without. Joe, who works behind the scenes, he said glasses. Stefan, what about you?
Decent bar tape.
Decent bar tape.
God, we've got some right snobs here, haven't we?
Yeah, we do, yeah.
Right, well, we would like to hear your views on this. Firstly, on the list that we have just given you, what could you live without and what couldn't you? But also your own items that you couldn't live without as a cyclist. Let us know in the comment section just down below.
Yeah, actually, can we add one more to our list, Dan? Something that you cannot have lived without if you've been riding here in the UK for the last couple of months.
A rain jacket.
Yeah. Or a soft shell, in fact, actually, depending on how heavy the rain is and how hard you're working.
I think any cyclist that's been residing in the UK for the past 2 months would agree on that one. You had to have a weatherproof jacket to get out pretty much any day.
Actually, not just the last 2 months in the UK, since you were born. Let's not be around the
last 35 years,
yeah. Unless, actually, you happen to have been riding on Zwift or the Sufferfest, in fact, and are maybe training for an indoor cycling record.
This is leading to an incredible segue, Si.
Possibly one of the finest. It is, of course, time for an update on Ollie's Hour of Power.
Morning. Today I'm heading to the University of Bath to do some physiological testing in a lab, because those two slave drivers, Neil and Mac, my coaches from the Sufferfest, have kindly set me another set of fitness tests. Great. We're going to be measuring my lactate threshold and also my VO2 max, which is kind of cool because it means we'll be able to compare me to the greatest of all time. Now, the best cyclists in the world typically have a VO2 max of around 80, even sort of 90, like Egan Bernal. So let's see what I can do. Although there is a catch, I have to do it in the TT bike position.
I've just done my 2 VO2 ramps. That was completely horrible. I do feel a bit like KC Neistat right now though. But yeah, the cadence one was hard. And the other, well, they were just both really hard. And it's so much harder doing it in the tri-bars than doing it on the drops. But I'm gonna have a quick chat with the scientists and we're gonna find out what the results are. Thanks to the University of Bath, the results are in and they're pretty clear. Eddie Merckx is an exceptionally gifted individual physiologically, and I'm not. So his VO2 max, the maximum volume of oxygen that his body can process per kilogram of body weight, was calculated back in the 70s to be 77 millilitres per kilogram. Mine is in the mid 60s on a road bike. When I did it on the TT bike, it was calculated to be in the 50s. So I'm at a significant disadvantage to Eddie in that respect. But, I mean, Eddie Merckx, even he's rubbish compared to a husky dog. They are said to have a VO2 max of 230. So there you go. Anyhow, because I'm never going to match him physiologically, I'm going to head into a wind tunnel and get as aerodynamic as possible. See you later.
Before we move on, Bahrain McLaren had their team launch at the McLaren UK HQ yesterday, where they also launched their 2020 team kit, which is quite a radical shift in design from this season and mirroring the colours of their F1 team cars. What do you reckon? Hot or not? Let us know in the comments. The question on everyone's lips though is, can Rod Ellingworth get Mark Cavendish back to his winning ways in 2020? We caught up with him to find out.
Yeah, really excited. Yeah, I keep getting these random messages from him which sort of make me laugh. But no, he's just getting the work done. I think he's sort of saying, I'm really enjoying being back on the bike and with a real plan. That's the other thing. I think he's been drifting around a little bit, and I'd like to work to a plan. I like them to sort of see the plan ahead of them. But it's not about what we set, it's about what he set, So him and his coach, who he's working with now, they've set some good plans ahead of them, and they're ticking them days off.
Next up, it's time for your weekly GCN Inspiration, where you submit your inspirational photos or videos. Two methods to do so. You can either use the upload, there's a link to that in the description below, or of course you can use the brand new GCN app and just upload your photos and videos directly there. Right, coming up, in third place is Kyle Peterson. And Kyle, before we show you his photo, is going to win a £10 gift voucher for the Global Cycling Network shop.
Yeah, novelty sized as well. So even though it's £10, it'll actually cost us more than that to post to you because it's so big.
Look good though, don't they?
Very cool, very pro.
Considering the 8 minutes of work we put into them. Right, this is Carl's photo.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Now I noticed in his description he said he's training for the world's toughest race, the Munga in South Africa. Now, actually you were invited to take part in the Munga, weren't you? And you did decline.
At that point I could live without competition. So.
But now if you invite Dan to the Munga, you'll probably fancy it, won't you? With the tailwind, you'd probably fancy a crack at the win.
don't forget, Si, that I failed dismally with the gale force tailwind. So in an actual race,
good point,
I would fail even more dismally. Anyway, well done to you, Carl. In second place this week and receiving...
Well, good point, Dan. 3-month subscription to the GCN Club, where of course you get a brand new pair of socks each and every month delivered to your door. So 3 months free subscription, it's actually 4 pairs of socks, isn't it?
It is, yes. And bonus. The winner of those 4 pairs is Burnout. That's his name on the GCN app, or she. Extremely challenging, but extremely rewarding. The picture perfectly paid off the huge effort I had to climb the Tre Cime di Lavaredo last summer, but totally worth it.
That is a stunning view, isn't it? And I can vouch for Tre Cime di Lavaredo. It really is quite an amazing place, isn't it? Also, I like how they've sort of tried to tackle that age-old problem that cyclists face, which is what do you do with an Armco when you want to take a picture of your bike and the view as well. But I think that's reasonably well done.
Yeah, I'd say that's a cracking photo.
Hence why you get a 3-month subscription to the GCN Club. Right then, in first place and winning another novelty voucher. Woohoo! Mate, we're not going to use that next week. Sorry. That's another 8 minutes. Anyway.
£100 going to the winner this week. That winner being?
Wakaba Hiram, okay? So he's got in touch on the GCN app saying he's from Kenya, started cycling seriously a year ago, wanted to buy an indoor trainer, but decided to go on YouTube and make his own because basically like a normal one is quite expensive. It's a big purchase. So here he goes. Check it out. He said the resistance on this thing is high, but it's paying dividends. So there we go. It's made me improve my performance in local races.
Yeah.
Boom.
That's why I don't want to go and compete at Munga.
No, that's a good point.
My bum kicked by people with homemade trainers that are way better than me. Anyway, a thoroughly deserving winner of £100 to spend on anything you like over on the GCN shop. Very well done to you. Don't forget to get involved for next week's show with your cycling inspirational photos and videos on the app or using the uploader.
It's now time for cycling shorts.
Cycling shorts now. I'm going to start with a case of breakdancing for unfortunate cyclist Nicholas Larsson, who was all set to be making his pro debut for the Uno X Norwegian development team, But unfortunately, that debut is looking set to be delayed slightly.
It is, because according to skiver Folkeblad, he was out with his team on a night out, strutting his stuff on the dance floor and no doubt impressing all the locals, when he went a bit too far and broke his leg. So his start to the pro ranks will be slightly delayed, but let's wish him all the best in his recovery because he's a very talented young man. He won the Tour of Denmark this year.
Yeah, you'll have no problem at all getting back. I'd also be very, very interested to know actually what those moves were. I mean, they must have been epic, mustn't they, to get that kind of injury on a dance floor.
Well, I've pulled some pretty epic moves on a dance floor. I've never broken a leg in my life, so they must have been really extreme.
True, very true. And if Dan hasn't done it, then it's, you know. Right, now we're going to move on to Matthew Glazer, the Australian track sprinter who was unfortunately diagnosed with thyroid cancer a few months ago, but has just got a podium in his first World Cup back, which is fantastic. So he had surgery to remove a tumour on his neck just a few weeks ago, but is hoping to be going full gas at the Tokyo Olympics in the summer as well. So fingers crossed for that continued recovery.
Great news and very impressive indeed, isn't it? Moving on to our friend over on Twitter, Cycling Science, who's been posting some very interesting links recently, two of which have been nutrition-based.
They have indeed. First, we have news of the latest superfood, or rather confirmation, in fact, of the powers of acai. Because according...
Japanese beer.
No, that's acai the beer, not acai the berry. But anyway...
Super beer.
Is it? Okay. It's now officially official, according to the European Journal of Nutrition.
Acai, as I'm sure you're all well aware, is a source of phytochemicals and has been associated with anti-inflammatory, antioxidant and anti-genotoxic effects.
Yes.
But it is also now proven to decrease blood lactate levels and therefore increase anaerobic threshold intensity.
Yeah, and quite significantly as well. The only downside, Dan, is that participants in this test had to consume 400 grams of acai fruit pulp per day.
Ah, that's a lot.
It is a lot, and worse than that, it's an expensive ingredient, so I had a little look. That's about $20 of fruit pulp per day.
Blimey.
Yeah, so you might well be better off just using a menthol mouthwash instead.
What?
Well, yeah. This one's officially official as well, although actually not peer-reviewed. It's just a really cool thesis from a student at Toronto University called Erica Gavel. Okay, she basically tested the effects of a menthol mouth rinse on people taking part in a 30-kilometre indoor time trial in warm conditions. And she found that regular rinsing significantly improved performance, and by 2.5% at that.
Wow. So fresh breath and clean teeth improve your cycling performance?
Yes. Well, actually, no. That wasn't her conclusion. She concluded that a non-thermal cooling agent can have physiological improvements.
It's incredible, really, isn't it? Moving on to a shock admission from the founder of Rafa in an interview at Road CC last week, because apparently, off-road is the new road.
Yeah, I read that as well. Just as an aside, isn't it a shame that we're calling it gravel and the term new road didn't catch on? Because then the headline would have been New Road is the new road. Yeah, anyway, Simon Mottram, who is the founder, is quoted as saying that off-road riding taps into a freer, less miserable, less data-driven side of cycling.
It's slightly ironic, really, isn't it? Because road cycling didn't take itself too seriously and wasn't really miserable at all, was it? Until Rafa made both those things cool a few years ago.
That's right. Glory through suffering, wasn't it?
I think that's the one.
Yeah. Anyway, times change, we get that, and yeah, an awful lot of people are riding on gravel now. So much so, in fact, that Team EF launched their new kit, Rafa kit, at a special gravel camp that was just a couple of weeks ahead of their actual proper team camp, which takes place on actual proper roads.
Yeah, I saw that. What did you think of the new kit?
Well, I mean, it's not markedly different from last year, is it? But I think that is a good thing because I really like it. Because for me, it kind of taps into like a freer, less miserable, less data-driven side of cycling.
Yes, that's what I drew from the new design as well. Now, another rider who'll be in new kit next season is Rowan Dennis. Ever since his public spat with his team Bahrain Merida at the Tour de France in July, people have been speculating as to where he'll end up for next year. Well, the answer is that in 2020 and 2021, he will be riding for Team Ineos.
Yeah. Whew. what a relief for Ineos as well, because I was starting to think that maybe they were going to lack a little bit of firepower for next year.
Yeah, where have they got the power from to ride in the front without Rowan Dennis?
Well, exactly, or ride everywhere, in fact. I mean, jokes aside, it's a scary proposition, isn't it? Because he's such a super talent that what could he do at Team Ineos? Grand Tour, maybe?
But I think he's capable of a Grand Tour
Yeah.
if everything goes right for him. The important thing here though, Si, is not what he's going to win the next 2 years. It's the fact that next year, when he does time trials, he'll be wearing black shorts.
Yes, that's right, with his world champ skin suit. Nice work, Rowan and Team Ineos. Now, speaking of skin suits, Dan, who would like to win not just a skin suit, but a whole load of super aero kit? Not just skin suits, this is an epic giveaway, in fact, this week. 4 lucky winners will receive a huge bundle from No Pins, okay? And the bundle includes one of these, which is a super fast aero road skin suit, complete with the no pins pockets at the back, plus a time trial skin suit. They look quite familiar, Dan. You see a fair few of those at World Tour level, don't you? If you look
see
closely.
quite a few at World Tour level, yeah.
Plus, over socks, and then these, which I think might be my favourite. Oh yes, aero socks. Look at those. How cool are they?
Flow socks, they are called. Now you'll no doubt want to know how to enter this giveaway because the total value of each prize is almost £400. So all you've got to do is head to the link which you'll find in the description just below this video and answer the following question. How many watts do these flow socks save you when compared to a standard shaved leg at 45 kilometers per hour? Now, may I suggest that if you're struggling to answer that off the top of your head, you head over to the No Pins website where you will find your answer.
Yeah. You know, I was going to suggest, Dan, that had you been wearing a pair of these, you might have got those KOMs you were after. But then, when I realised you said 45k an hour, there's no way you can go that fast.
Well, they still save you a bit at 22. It is now time for hack /Bodge of the week. 2 ways to upload your photos. Either use the uploader or use the GCN app. First up, Si, we have a disgruntled viewer.
No!
We've got a lot of disgruntled viewers, but one of them wrote in, that one being Dan Sadler, who's gutted because Lotus 110 Club and Tom EDW have both now made it onto GCN, and he still hasn't achieved it. So it's to resubmit last week's greatest achievement pick as a hack or bodge from his home-brewed kiddie cranked tandem.
Ooh, that's pretty cool.
Take a closer look, Si.
Whoa, check it out. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, isn't it?
Okay, fair play. A deserved inclusion into Hack or Bodge. And yes, I believe it is a hack. There we go. Next up, we got this sent in by Magna. He printed a bracket to mount his Lesign light underneath the stem. Centrally mounted light. Gets a big thumbs up from me. Looks like a slightly puny light. And I know, you can't judge purely from the size, but hopefully that packs enough of a punch to get through your gear and brake cables there, but I like the positioning of it.
It is very neat indeed. So it's got to be a hack, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure, it's a hack, yeah.
We also had disgruntled viewers said that they get really annoyed if we don't pronounce them hacks or bodges. Some things we sometimes forget.
Yeah, we do, yeah.
So I'm making sure this week. Moving on, also on the GCN app, from Jellyfish Salad, bike observed park in Hindley Street in Adelaide, South Australia. Never seen anything like it before.
Whoa!
Well, we have, only because you send us pictures rather like this quite often, but there's a lot going on there, isn't there?
Well, there is, because initially, Dan and I had only noticed the umbrella. But no, it was pointed out to us that this has got some rather special forks on. The first ever quadruple crown suspension forks we've ever seen.
Yeah.
Talk about saddle to bar drop. That's ridiculous.
Well, it's got a reverse stem, BMX handlebars. Is that a centrally mounted light, Si, though?
Oh, it is. Bonus. It's a hack, Dan.
Yes. Right, I think we both agree that is a bodge.
Yes. Terrifying bodge, and someone should stop riding it immediately. Okay, next up, we've got this one sent in from Dennis, or Dennis T, perhaps. Rejoining the chain without tension using a big bend paper clip. Now, I like what you've done there, because this is an aftermarket thing that you could purchase, and you've made one yourself. But, can I actually lay the blame squarely at your chain tensioner? You see, get rid of that, and knock your chain off the big ring, and all of a sudden you don't need anything to hold your chain together. Because there's no tension in your chain anyway.
We haven't had a chain keeper for years, Si. I
No, we
just
haven't.
remembered. Send in your chain keepers for next week.
No, because they're still rubbish. Look, he's had to invent a whole new tool because his chain tensioner is ruining it.
Right, well, we're going to stick with chains anyway, Si, because this also came in on the app from Andy Oakey. Had an old chain and needed some Christmas decorations, so waste not, want not. Look at them.
Wow, those are cool. What are they called, Dan?
I don't know, what are they called?
Chain deer.
Blimey heck, Si.
I like the fact that he's waited till his chain's really filthy and oily, so he doesn't even need to paint them. It's just got a naturally kind of browny chain on there. Brilliant.
I'm saying hack for that.
Absolutely, it's a hack.
And it's our first Christmas-themed hack or bodge for 2019,
Oh.
which reminds me, we need some more, don't we?
We do.
For our Christmas GCN show special, we would love to get your Christmas-themed GCN hacks and bodges, so make sure you send them over to us using the uploader or using the GCN app, and we'll feature the best ones in that Christmas show.
Yeah, also, Christmas tree by bike, which was a hashtag last year, wasn't it? And I haven't even looked for Christmas trees by bikes. So how do you get your Christmas tree home? Do you tow it by bike? If you did, or do, then make sure you take a picture and send it in. It's time for Caption Competition, that point in the show where you can get your hands on a rather shiny Elite GCN water bottle. All you gotta do is put a witty caption to a photo that we are about to give you. Results time, first of all, Dan, from the last week.
Well, yeah, this photo from last week was by Billy Harding at the 2017 Cyclocross World Championships. And our winning caption came in from Joseph Warren, who put caption, "That breakup got messy."
Yeah, no, I can see
one.
that, yeah.
And so did 20 other people, Si, giving
Ooh,
the
wow.
thumbs up. So well deserved, I would say. Send us your address, Joseph, and we'll get that GCN Elite water bottle out to you on Facebook. Send us a message.
Yeah.
Right, this week's photo, Si, comes from Zonhoven with the infamous sand dunes, which see a number of crashes each and every year.
Each and every lap, more to the point.
Very true. Amongst those crashes this year were European champion Yara Castelline. I'm
Come
going
on,
to get
mate.
started.
Come on, dude.
Right, ready?
Yeah.
What are you doing? Just drawing a Castelline in the sand.
Week after week, you never disappoint, Dan. What an absolute perler.
Week after week, I'm very proud of myself as well.
And week after week, you constantly sort of like use people's names in the captions.
Yeah, basically every week, Si writes the entire show and I just stare at a photo for 3 hours and hope I come up with something. Right, let us know your best captions. Leave them in the comment section down below. As ever, before we let you know what's coming up on the Global Cycling Network over the next week, we are going to go through a few of our favourite comments from the previous week, and we're going to start with one that came underneath the soft shell versus hard shell rain jacket from STTU. When it's raining, I wear my house.
I like that one very much.
Nice,
Yeah, very, very true. I mean, it's quite heavy to put in your back pocket, but definitely keeps you dry and more breathable as well.
We also had this one from Yorgi under the same video saying, you know something's wrong when the cycling show in the UK is using artificial rain.
Well, it was science, wasn't it, Yorgi? And by the way, to all those people that commented that my back wasn't getting wet, my back did get wet, all right?
Yeah, that was
not
sweat,
having that. Yeah, okay. Right, underneath Dan's favourite ride.
Put this one in.
Yes, Dan, funny enough, did put this one in. This is from Big Stew. Lloydie, the legend. He's bragging, he's ragging, he's zigging, he's zagging, and Jude is proof that he used to be in. But probably just the once. Merry Christmas, boys. Yeah, Merry Christmas, Big Stew.
He's not far off with that. In fact, I'm surprised he didn't make GCN's top one-hit wonders video a few years ago. Right, tips to keep you riding your bike in the winter. This came in from Mark J.A. Please insert comment related.
I've got so many things floating around in my head now. Just none of them can come out.
Please insert comment relating to GCN not knowing what real winter is.
Yeah, well, funny enough, JD was one of many people that happily supplied. 0 snow in this video, that's not winter. I think all these people, Dan, that have got really nice, romantic, snowy winters, they don't know how grim it is when it's 2 degrees and raining. You come over here to the UK and you tell me that's pleasant to ride in just because it's above freezing.
Yeah, you tell him, Si.
Yeah.
Right, and finally, we had this underneath the GCN show from Leanne VDH. Slightly ironic that I'm struggling to pronounce Leanne's handle. Haha, T-Jeerd is not a random username, but a very common name in the Netherlands. You just don't pronounce it as T-Jeerd. Also, I'm guessing it's burnt and not burnedy. as burnt is a common name in Germany. I think we've reached a new low.
I know. That was us rinsing him for choosing such a weird.
The app's new. You can just use your own name. Why make up ridiculous usernames?
And he's the one going, yes, I've got tiered. Brilliant. So yeah, huge apologies. I'm so sorry. We did not know, or I did not know, but now I do.
And I would say, please let us know if we've mispronounced any names this week. But well, we haven't got that long time to read everyone, have we?
Yeah.
Right, coming up on the channel over the next 7 days. On Wednesday, we are going to show you what not to wear for cycling, and on Thursday, we're going to go through worst cycling tips. Oof. We've done that one before a few years ago, but there are so many bad tips that you get as a cyclist that we thought it was time for round 2. And on Friday, we are comparing 1-by with 2-by for cyclocross and gravel riding.
That's right. On Saturday, Ollie hits the wind tunnel. As we said last week, he's going to need all the help he can get, and a lot of it is going to be found through aerodynamics. So it's going to be quite interesting to see what he's up to there. Then on Sunday, it's the GCN Wacky Races Commuter Challenge, which I'm not looking forward to in the slightest. I suggest you don't watch it.
Monday, over on the Racing Channel, we have the Racing News Show. Speaking of which, on the Racing Channel this coming weekend, on Saturday, we have the next round of the DVV Trophy. That is live everywhere in the world, except for the Netherlands and also Belgium. And on Sunday, we've got the USA National Championships, where Katie Compton is going for something like the 115th title in a row. So let's see if she can do that.
On the one hand, that's like a really nice thing, saying how much she's dominated the sport for so long. But on the other hand, Dan, it's like saying she's 130 years old.
15th in a row, I think it is.
We're getting on for the end of the show now, but of course, we still have time for Extreme Corner. This week, it's our very own Hank. Because, I don't know whether you saw, but he filmed a video with GMBN at the weekend, in which he very nearly got run over, didn't he? Now, we thought the beef between us and GMBN was all gone, but no, Neil Donoghue still harbouring some bitterness, as you can see.
Birds. I mean, I've seen them. Neil! Bloody hell, Neil!
Whoa! That was close, wasn't it? And you might think, oh, Donny's really good. You know, he meant to do that. No, because that is really close. If it wasn't for the fact that a professional road cyclist has such lightning reactions, Hank would have lost his toes.
He would have done, yeah. I think in conclusion, Si, we can say that mountain bikers are boring, they've got no sense of humour, and they're blooming aggressive as well when they're angry.
Yes, absolutely, that's what we should take from that clip, 100%. Right, hopefully you've enjoyed this week's show. If you have, please give it a big thumbs up.
And if you would like some more content to watch, and you haven't yet seen my ride around the New Forest, you've got to watch it, it's great. It's just down here.
#Dan's Adventure.
Cheers, mate.